This is Vice City, the central point of action in the up-and-coming GTA 6 title. And this is Los Santos, the iconic city that has been our home for over a decade in GTA 5. Both of these cities are absolutely legendary and are part of modern pop culture. But how do they compare against each other? And ultimately, which one can be crowned the king of all GTA cities? Well, for all of these questions and many more, we finally have the answers in this documentary. Now, I know many of you are thinking that there isn't enough info about Vice City to make such a comparison, since we have only gotten one trailer of our future home. And to be honest, that's also what I was thinking before I made this video. But it turns out we actually have a lot more info than you might think. There is actually a community-run site on the internet called ViMap, which has surprisingly detailed maps of Vice City and the state of Leonida as a whole. And although some of it is a professional speculation, then it is still very heavily based on the info that the map creators have gathered from both the trailer and most likely also the GTA 6 gameplay leaks we had earlier last year. So overall, we can actually make some pretty good comparisons between Los Santos and Vice City. Also, if you haven't watched my documentary about Los Santos itself, make sure to also do so, as this video is the sequence to that documentary. Anyways, starting off with one of the hottest topics. How does Vice City's size compare against Los Santos? Well, luckily on the ViMap site we can actually place the GTA 5 map over the current GTA 6 map. And as you can see, the GTA 6 map as a whole looks a lot bigger than the map of San Andreas, while the cities are both quite similarly sized. But the major difference between these two seems to be that while Los Santos is shaped quite like a circle, with the downtown being in the center and other districts expanding out of it, then Vice City is a very linear city. Vice City is also parted into two very distinguishable sections, with the first one being the separate island, while the second part is the mainland part of the city. And from what we saw from the trailer, it looks like the island part will be the main area of the city, with the South Beach and the boulevards we saw in the trailer. Between these two parts there will be a bay with different smaller islands and bridges to cross the waterway. So overall, we can say that Vice City and Los Santos are both similarly sized cities, with the main difference being that Los Santos is a more rounded shaped city that creates one big interconnected metropolis, while Vice City is separated into many different parts and islands with big waterways between them, which means that there will be a lot more action on the sea compared to LS. Now, for the next comparison, let's take a look at how both these cities operate. And by this I mean, what have both these cities been built to represent? Firstly, we have Los Santos, the mega metropolis located on the western coast of the US, with a Mediterranean climate, vibrant beach life, but at the same time also a big movie industry and a financial hub with its downtown bank skyscrapers and business centers, but still having poorer areas like South Los Santos with big Hispanic cultural influences, the real city of American dreams. Now, in many ways, Vice City is very similar to Los Santos while also being quite different. Let's start off with the similarities. Firstly, like Los Santos, Vice City is also situated on the coastline with a Mediterranean climate and vibrant beaches. I'd even go as far to say that the beach life is more impressive than that of Los Santos. And like Los Santos, Vice City also has very big cultural influences coming from the Spanish-speaking population, especially in the poorer neighborhoods. But the main difference between these cities is the population. While Los Santos is really a mega metropolis, then Vice City is not even close to the size of LS. Not saying that Vice City is a small city, it really isn't, but if you just compare it to the second biggest city in the US, then it shows. All that means Vice City in many ways lacks the financial and industrial significance of Los Santos, but it makes up for it with its vibrant partying culture and lifestyle, having clubs and rooftop bars that a city like Los Santos could only dream of. So while both are cities with beaches and hot climates, then Los Santos is bigger and more of a financial center, while Vice City is a bit smaller but with a way more vibrant culture and party lifestyle. Which is weird to say, because if I were to compare Los Santos to Liberty City, I would consider Los Santos to be the more vibrant and playful city, while Liberty City would be the fast-paced financial capital of the world. So I guess Los Santos is really a mix of both Liberty City and Vice City. Anyway, let's move on to our next comparison subject, which is the nature. Now, this is more about the maps as a whole rather than the cities themselves. And there is one very clear difference between the state of San Andreas and the state of Leonida, which is, of course, the mountains. In San Andreas, everything is separated by mountains and the valleys between them. The mountains even divide the map into three different parts. Firstly, the city area, secondly, the kind of a desert and Fort Zancudo area, and finally, the Palito Bay area. The biggest out of all the mountains is of course Mount Chiliad, but we also have Mount Josiah, Mount Gordo, the Tatavian Mountains, the San Jayansky mountain range, the Tongva Hills and Vinewood Hills. The mountain ranges make up around 70% of the actual GTA 5 map. And that's the reason why I think that the GTA 6 map will feel huge in comparison to GTA 5. The state of Leonida will most likely have close to no mountains, since there are none in the real life state of Florida. Everything that we saw in the trailer was also quite flat. But other than the mountains, the nature itself will be quite similar to San Andreas. There was a similar swamp shown in the trailer as we have in San Andreas called the Lago San Zancudo. On the Y-map site, we see the location of the swamp to be the very southern end of the map. Like we already mentioned earlier, both states also have a lot of beaches and coastline, although the water itself seems to be a lot more clearer in Vice City than the dark blue water we have in San Andreas. And there seems to be a lot more of this narrow coastline and even separate islands connected by long roads. This is made after the Key West region in real life, where a very narrow coastline is going all the way to the most southern point of the US. And in both states we also have the wildlife. In San Andreas we have the mountain lions, while in Leonida we seem to get a herd of flamingos and aggressive alligators. I don't know if it's only me, but the nature as a whole seems to be a lot more engaging in GTA 6 than in GTA 5. In San Andreas, nature seems to for the most part be a filler area between different towns and POIs. Of course, this might also have something to do with the fact that GTA 5 was at first released to the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation consoles, which just couldn't render huge wildlife areas properly. As I'm sure most of you know, in the northern part of the GTA 5 map, a huge forest was set to cover the map, but it was ultimately taken out of the game before the release in 2013. Luckily, we have moved on to the 5th generation of the PlayStation consoles, which are a lot more capable of rendering the surroundings. Also, who the hell even plays on an Xbox nowadays? I've literally heard no one say that they will buy an Xbox to play GTA 6 next year. It is 99% of the time always the PlayStation 5. Okay, back to the video. If there's anything that distincts cities from each other, then it is their skyline. Both Los Santos and Vice City have very iconic but also very different skylines from each other. In Los Santos, you have this very distinctive big American city skyline, where there are both concrete and glass skyscrapers, which overall create a scenic silhouette. People always imagine the LS skyline during the pink sunset hours, but it's mostly only the downtown that makes the city skyline. Yes, there are a few high-rises here and there away from downtown, like Eclipse Tower or the Weasel Plaza, but they are quite alone and don't blend in with the rest of the skyline. On the other hand, in Vice Vice City, it looks like that the skyline is scattered all around the city with great distances between many of the high-rises. There doesn't seem to be a single downtown place where most of the high-rises would be built, and that's what gives Vice City its unique looking skyline. That and the fact that for some reason most of the buildings in Vice City are white. One thing that probably all of us noticed in the trailer though was that the life on the skyscrapers themselves looks to be a lot more lively in Vice City than in Los Santos. With rooftop pools and parties on top of these buildings, it's something that Los Santos and GTA 5 has never seen. Because let's be honest, how much do we actually use the skyscrapers in Los Santos? We only use the helicopter landing pads if we really want to skydive down from it. But other than that, the buildings are like ghost towns. And the fact that we have offices and agencies inside these buildings doesn't give it more life since it can't be seen on the outside. So in conclusion, both Vice City and the LS are iconic cities in the GTA universe. The sizes of the cities themselves on a map are relatively similar in both games, but Los Santos has more of a big city vibe to it, while Vice City can best be described as a vacation hotspot. Los Santos is generally one big rounded city, while Vice City is separated into many different shores and islands, quite separate from each other. The main difference in nature between Vice City and LS is the lack of mountains. And Vice City itself has more of a scattered skyline, which actually describes the city itself quite well. So who is the winner? Well, in my opinion, both these cities represent their own golden age perfectly. Los Santos was the king during the American dream of the 2010s, the age where in real life every YouTuber, Twitch streamer, gamer and self-claimed celebrity wanted to move to California, and so the game was perfect to operate there. But with the decline of LA in real life came the rise of Miami, and so also Vice City, which has now in the 2020s become the new hotspot for living, traveling and life in general. But anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to also check out my other documentaries about the GTA universe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.